So, where this all needs to start from is this bombshell that all barking is caused by one of three possible things. And the first one is that it could come from a place of over-arousal, over-excitement. I'm barking, I'm over the top.
I'm excited.
Second thing is that it could come from a place of fear. They could be scared. So
someone's coming in the house, I'm worried.
What's going on?
I don't like this.
There's stuff going through the mailbox.
Invading me.
Third is that it could be frustration. I'm not getting the outcome that I expected. I'm frustrated.
I wanted that tennis ball. I really wanted that.
Yeah. So in doing that, it allows us to then move forward. When we acknowledge that it's one of those three things, none of which our dogs want to spend a lot of time in, they're not kind of like calm, happy places, it allows us to move forward. So the first thing that we want to speak to you about is that the single biggest thing that you could do to help barking, see an improvement in barking, is just generally grow calmness.
And when we say help barking, we don't mean help to create barking. We mean help to maybe minimise barking if it's something that maybe upsets your day or upsets your neighbour's day or maybe just upsets your dog's day. Yeah. So like Tom said, growing calmness. Now we know we talked to you a lot about growing calmness. There are many ways that we like to grow calmness in our daily lives with our dogs, but we think it is huge in terms of minimizing stress and maximizing optimum learning and the optimum happy dog.
So the things that you can start employing right away: calmness protocol. Make sure that you are investing time, food and energy into that calmness bank account. Second thing would be like your passive calming activities, like your Kongs, your scatter feeding, your long-lasting treats.
I, for sure, 100% really value all of those things. So for me, scatter feeding it's completely changed our yard in the morning so that when my dogs are out and someone turns up, they're so busy scatter feeding that they don't really notice too much. Now, it's not going to help me if, I don't know, say I'm trying to train a guard dog. But here's the thing, I would prefer that my dogs didn't need to bark at the visitors because the visitors to site aren't really to be scared away. So for us, scatter feeding is really, really a big part of our dogs' lives, whether that's Kongs, like Tom said, long-lasting chews, frozen chews, tripe stuffed Kongs. Yeah. You know what? It may smell bad, your dog's gonna love it. And the thing is, if they can't eat it for any reason, that just gives you more information as to where they are on that barking scale and maybe why they're barking.
Yeah. The next thing in growing calmness is that you need to think about how actually choice is exhausting, and sometimes our dogs just need no choice. They just need to do what we call active rest, where they're on a boundary, they're in a crate, they're in a closed room.
One of the ones for my dogs for sure, like Thomas just said, is in a closed room. So maybe, I don't know, I've got visitors coming over, they're going to be active, they're going to be exciting. The visitors are very excited about seeing dogs. If I've got a dog that cannot make the right choices and does not need to have that many choices, I don't know, it's like giving Eliza the choice of Ribena, Coke, maybe Cherry Coke and maybe Dr. Pepper. None of those choices are great choices, and I know that she's going to pick one of them because that's the choices she's been sort of given, and that's the hand that we've drawn. What would be the most sensible thing to do is actually, with one of my dogs for sure, would be actually to give her a better space to be in. Same as with a child, if you had visitors that you didn't think were appropriate, maybe going to grandma's that night might be a good idea. Yeah. You've got to think about, if you don't give the right choices or you haven't got the right framework, how can your dog succeed? How can your dog make the right decision if the framework isn't there to underpin that?
Yeah. So the next thing, the next vital component, and you know, we're not just giving you this information and then we're thinking, oh, but you know, you can't resolve this. Barking you can 100% get on top of. Barking you can 100% turn a barky household, noisy household into a quiet, silent household. It's absolutely possible. So this stuff is to be implemented. And the next one is actually the barking spreads within a dog. So let's say your dog starts to bark in training sessions when they get frustrated and that they're otherwise quiet. All of a sudden the barking starts appearing in different places in your life. And before you know it, you have like a dog that's barking all the time and at various different things. It can work the other way as well. If you can build silence into your training sessions that are currently noisy, you start to see the silence, the quiet spilling over into aspects.
And so many people come to our classes here, don't they, at Bowerland and Devon Dogs, and they say, wow, it's so quiet here. It's so quiet here. Like, How is that? And I used to think that maybe the performance of my dogs might not be so good because they're not barking. The performance is outstanding, to the point that 2 of my dogs, in fact no, 3 this year, have made it onto FCI teams, so been picked for squads. They are some of the most competitive dogs out there. Fiji, Blink and Style have all been put on teams this year. So you know what, we're top end performers, and we're also having...
It's not a compromise. It's not like
it's a better lifestyle.
Yeah,
it's a great lifestyle choice. Another one we want you to think really, really carefully on, and this one is super important, is vigilance. Yeah. Don't just think, oh, he'll stop that in a minute. Oh, it's raining, I really don't have time to go and sort that out. Actually, vigilance is really important, and really being a little bit pedantic about it. So actually tackling it when you see it as a potential issue, rather than thinking, I'll get that in about a month's time.
And with that means maybe distracting them from whatever it is that they were doing, employing them in a more appropriate activity, bringing the arousal level down, bringing them back from scary land to happy land. That, you know, I say those things really quickly, but that's absolutely what you should be thinking when these happen. Like, why are they barking? Oh, they're barking because they're scared. Well, you know what? I'm going to take them away from what they're scared of. I'm going to lower the arousal level. I'm going to do some calm scatter feeding to bring them back to a positive place. Why are they barking? Oh, because they're overexcited, because they're trying to get the other dog in the house to move and to race. You know what? That's probably play that shouldn't have been happening in the first place. That interaction probably shouldn't have been available to them. I'm just going to bring them in, bring them back to a calm place, and then maybe later let the dog out that was barking back out into the garden where they were barking, and just reward them for good choices in that area. When they're more experienced, we know that they're going to make those good choices, but really thinking, like, what is happening here? Notice it's happening. What is happening here? What am I going to do about it? Because it spreads.
Another one that we think is hugely valuable is pairing correctly and regularly the right decisions. So we like to think of it as catch them doing something right. Yeah. So rather than thinking he's doing that wrong, he's doing that wrong, he's doing that wrong, being really like nitpicky and disliking things, catch them doing something right. So I don't know, someone knocks on the door, bang, 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 feed your dog. You know what, someone gets up, picks the leads up, feed the dogs. Yeah. Like, pick moments that you can reward them. Calm stroke, scattered fed, like bunch.
I bet for every one decision that your dog makes, one choice that your dog makes that you don't like, they probably make like 150 great choices
that you missed.
So rewarding those
even
reduces
if you just say,
the bad ones.
Nice, good job, you did so great there. Like we were working with a pup, weren't we, this morning, and she made great decisions, but we didn't have food on us.
Yeah, no.
We used us. Yeah. So actually just knowing when you can say, that was great, we loved what you were doing. We loved what you were doing. Good decision.
So barking, completely possible to transform it.
And completely all within your grasp today and now. And yes, you might need to try and get family on board. You might need to try and get friends on board. You might need to set up the odd person to ring the phone or knock on the door or set up a bit of a stooge situation, but it's all so very doable with boundaries, with rewarding, catching good things, with vigilance, with bringing the house sort of bucket stress load down and making sure the calmness protocol is grown. There's so much we can do to reduce barking, to increase calmness, to increase like dogs being happier, healthier, and families being happier and healthier. It seems crazy not to consider it, right?